Yashodanandana Bhagavatam, please? Someone can.
Yes.
You're writing.
Oh, okay.
To do Lord Srila
I think this morning we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. If I'm not wrong, Shantatma gave me the sloka. Sorry, please forgive me, I didn't prepare the class because there's no one scheduled today, so I'm being dropped in to give class. So. By Bruno Prabhu. I think it's 958 if I'm not wrong. What is this sloka being written?
Srinivas, which sloka is it?
Yes, it's 8, yeah.
978.
95, no?
5. It's 5, yeah.
Line 5 or line 7?
No, 9, he's writing 5.
958, sorry.
Haribo.
Okay, we'll wait for you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottavam devi saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udiraye nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavatir uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. Almost there on the last line. We can do word to word to start. Yada
Yada
Visrastaha Tvam Ananjanena Vai Balam Pravistaha Ajita Daitya Danavam Bahu Udara Uru Angri Siradarani Vrishchan Ajasram Pradane Virajase
They do it properly.
Yada Vistrastatvam Anjanena Vai.
Yada Visratam Ananderavai.
Well done, Bruno. You're there. Gonna give the board, Prabhu. Devotees can repeat, please. Yada Vistrastastvam Anjanena Vai.
Yada Visratam Ananderavai.
Yada Vistrastastvam Anjanena Vai.
Yada Visratam Ananderavai.
Balam Pravisto Jita Daitya Danavam.
Baram Pravisto Jita Daitya Danavam.
Balam Pravisto Jita Daitya Danavam.
Baram Pravisto Jita Daitya Danavam.
Bahudararvo Angin Sirodarani.
Bahudaro Angri Sirodarani.
Bahudorarvo Angri Sirardorani.
Bahudaro Angri Sirodarani.
Bahudararvo Angri Sirardorani.
Bahudaro Angri Sirodarani.
Vrishchan Angashram Pradane Virajase.
Vrishchan Ajasram Pradame Virajase.
Vrishchan Ajashram Pradane Virajase.
Vrishchan Ajasram Pradame Virajase.
Yada Vishristatvam Anjanena Vai.
Yada Vishnastam Ananjena Vai.
Balam Pravisto Jita Daitya Danavam.
Balam Pravisto Jita Daitya Danavam.
Bahudararvo Angri Sirar
Bahudaro Vangri Shirodharani
Vishyan Ajashram Pradhane Virajase.
Visham Ajasram Padame Virajase.
Anyone else would like to try?
Yada Vishistastvam Ananjanena Vai.
Yada Virishastvam Ananjena Vai
Bhavam Pravishto Jita Daitya Danavam.
Baram Pravishto Jita Daitya Danavam
Bahudador Vangri Shirodharani.
Bahudaror Vangri Shirodharani
Vishana Jasram Pradane Virajase.
Visham Ajasram Pradame Virajase Yada Vishrishtasvam Manam Jenat Vai
Yada Vishistastvam
Baram Pravishto Jita Daitya Damavam
Balam Pravisto Jitadekadavam.
Bahudaror Vangri Shirodharani Vrishana Jasram Pradme Virajase
Visham Ajasram Pradhane Virajase. Bruno Pandit. You got it right. Nice. Anyone else? Mataji? Doing good. Repeating was good. Try.
Yada Vishtastam Anchananave.
Yada Virishastvam Ananjanavai
Balam Pravisto Jite Deitane Danavam.
Baram Pravishto Jita Daitya Danavam
Bahudaro Vangri Shirodharani.
Bahudaror Vangri Shirodharani
Vishyan Jasaram Padane Vijase.
Visham Ajasram Pradane Virajase.
Okay, we did word to word. We'll do the translation. Oh, word to word. Sorry, I did not do the meaning. Yada.
Yada
When. Visristaha.
Vishrishtaha
Send. Tvam.
Tvam
Your good self.
Your good self
Anjanena. By
Anjanena
the transcendental supreme personality of Godhead.
by the transcendental supreme personality of Godhead.
Why? Indeed.
Indeed.
Balam. The soldiers.
The soldiers
Pravistaha. Entering among. Ajita. O infatigable and unconquerable one.
Infatigable and unconquerable one.
Daitya Danavam.
Daitya
Of the Daityas and Danavas.
of the Daityas and Danavas.
The demons.
The demons.
Bahu. Arms.
Arms.
Udara. Bellies. Kuru. Thighs. Angry. Legs. Siradharani. Necks. Vrishyan. Separating. Ajastram. Incessantly. Pradhane. In the battlefield. Virajase. You stay. O infatigable one, when you are sent by the Supreme Personality of Godhead to enter among the soldiers of the Daityas and the Danavas, you stay on the battlefield and unendingly separate their arms, bellies, thighs, legs, and heads. We're going on to the next sloka. I'll just do the English translation so that doesn't take too much time. O protector of the universe, you are engaged by the Supreme Personality of Godhead as his all-powerful weapon in killing the envious enemies. For the benefit of our entire dynasty, kindly favor this poor Brahmana. This will certainly be a favor for all of us. Shloka number 10. In our family has given charity to the proper if our family has given charity to the proper persons, if we have performed ritualistic ceremonies and sacrifices, if we have properly carried out our occupational duties, and if we have been guided by learned brahmanas, I wish in exchange that this Brahmana be freed from the burning caused by the Sudarshan Chakra. If the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one who is one without a second, who is the reservoir of all transcendental qualities, and who is the life and soul of all living entities, is pleased with us, we wish that this Brahmana, Durvasa Muni, be freed from the pain of being burned. Next sloka, number 12. Shukadeva Goswami continued, when the king offered prayers to the Sudarshan Chakra and Lord Vishnu, because of his prayers, the Sudarshan Chakra became peaceful and stopped burning the Brahmana known as Durvasa Muni. Number 13. Durvasa Muni, the greatly powerful mystic, was indeed satisfied when freed from the fire of the Sudarshan Chakra. Thus he praised the qualities of Maharaj Ambarish and offered him the highest benedictions. Number 14. Durvasa Muni said, my dear king, today I have experienced the greatness of devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For although I have committed an offense, you have prayed for my good fortune. 15. For those who have achieved the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Master of the pure devotees, what is impossible to do and what is impossible to give up? What is impossible for the servants of the Lord, by the very hearing of His holy name, one is purified. O King, overlooking my offences, you have saved my life. Thus I am very much obliged to you because you are so merciful. Expecting the return of Durvasa Muni, the king had not taken his food. Therefore, when the sage returned, the king fell at his feet, pleasing him in all respects, and fed him sumptuously. Number 19. Thus the king respectfully received Durvasa Muni, who after eating varieties of palatable food was so satisfied that with great affection he requested the king to eat also, saying, please take your meal. Number 20. This has purport, so we can stop here after I read the translation and purport. Durvasa Muni said, I am very pleased with you, my dear king. At first, I thought of you as an ordinary human being and accepted your hospitality, but later I could understand by my own intelligence that you are the most exalted devotee of the Lord. Therefore, simply by seeing you, touching your feet, and talking with you, I have been pleased and have become obliged to you. It is said, purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
It is said, Vaishnavera Kriya Mudra Vignenaha Na Bhujai. Even a very intelligent man cannot understand the activities of a pure Vaishnava. Therefore, although Durvasa Muni was a great mystic yogi, he first mistook Maharaj Ambarish for an ordinary human being and wanted to punish him. Such is the mistaken observation of a Vaishnava. When Durvasa Muni was persecuted by Sudarshan Chakra, however, his intelligence developed. Therefore, the word Atma Medasa is used to indicate that by his personal experience he would understand how a great Vaishnava the king was. When Durvasa Muni was chased by the Sudarshan Chakra, he wanted to take shelter of Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, and he was even able to go to the spiritual world, meet the personality of Godhead, and talk with him face to face. Yet he was unable to be rescued from the attack of Sudarshan Chakra. Thus, he could understand the influence of a Vaishnava by personal experience. Durvasa Muni was certainly a great yogi and a very learned Brahmana, but despite his being a real yogi, he was unable to understand the influence of a Vaishnava. Therefore, it is said, Vaishnavera Kriya Mudra Vigneha Na Bhujai. Even the most learned person cannot understand the value of a Vaishnava. There is always a possibility for so-called Jnanis and Yogis to be mistaken when studying the character of a Vaishnava. A Vaishnava can be understood by how much he is favored by the Supreme Personality of Godhead in terms of his inconceivable activities. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namne Namaste Saraswati Gauravan Pujanya Rushe Shunyavad Pasyata Vishtaya Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langete Mahamade Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. Hare Krishna, welcome everyone to the Bhagavatam class. Thank you all for being here this morning. We are at the end of this pastime of Ambarish Maharaj and Durvasa Munis, the very famous pastime of Srimad Bhagavatam. We get to see a devotee, how he reacts or acts when there is a difficulty in his life. He doesn't give up faith in Krishna. He's always fully surrendered. Now we could see the Sudarshan Chakra. This is the area where Sudarshan Chakra is being glorified by Ambarish Maharaj. It's amazing how it's to see that devotees glorify each other, Like Ambarish Maharaj is a devotee, Sudarshan is a devotee. They appreciate each other, they glorify each other. It's not just the Supreme Lord. Sometimes devotees, we kind of forget this, so it's good for us to see in Srimad Bhagavatam that how we can relate with each other, appreciate each other, glorify each other when it is needed. Srila Prabhupada showed us the path, how to practice devotional life. Srila Prabhupada was once asked, how is it you are so advanced in spiritual life? His reply was, I was always introspective. So introspection makes us kind of aware of our being, where we are, who we are with, So it kind of, we can see in our daily dealings where we are at ourselves. When we are lining up for prasadam, there is like 6 samosas, there is 8 devotees. I want my samosa. This is where we are at. Let the other Vaishnava get a samosa. This is where it kind of, we always we have to learn this art of putting devotees and Krishna ahead. This is a good opportunity. There was this devotees who came from London. One Mataji was telling that she wanted to sacrifice her attached bathroom room to give it to other devotees, and not knowingly they organized in such a way that this Mataji got to stay in the mobile home. I know it's not the best mobile home, but she got 2 bathrooms. So when we sacrifice, when we are conscious, when we are introspective, checking ourselves and checking the area we are in, or the sangha we are in, it kind of gives us opportunity to get ourselves fixed stronger in Krishna consciousness. And there is one conversation between Srila Prabhupada and Dr. O.L.B. Kapoor. Prabhupada was working for this Dr. Prabhupada, as you all know, he's a pharmacist. He was mixing, in India, we earlier days there is something called druggist and chemist. They used to, when you ask for medicine, they themselves used to prepare it and give it, like mix different types of chemicals, and Prabhupada was also doing it. So O.L.B. Kapoor was a doctor. Dr. Kapoor asked Prabhupada, what is your secret of being humble, of spiritual life? His reply was, Trinadapi Sunichena. So it's such a good opportunity for us that, if we imbibe this Trinadapi Sunichena into our life, we can be like Ambarish Maharaj. You see, even the end of the pastime, he's begging, he's not at all offended by Durvasa Muni, not even a trace. He's begging, falling at the feet of Ambarish Maharaj and asking him to come and take prasad. Please, you eat first. This is such a good thing for us to see that we should be. I always emphasize this in my classes or with the dealings of devotees. When we have guests, ask them if they have eaten. We're all lined up. There is a big feast coming up. There is 6 new devotees. We don't know where they came from. Krishna has sent them, but I don't want to budge.
What is bunk?
I don't want to budge means I don't want to move, change. I want to just focus on my own plate of prasad. It's as I said, there is more satisfaction when we serve. Okay, you resist for half an hour. After that, all prasad is ours. The guests should be treated nicely. So this Srimad Bhagavatam shows us how we can serve Vaishnavas, look after Vaishnavas. No need to be worried about anything for our own well-being. Krishna doesn't forget us. Krishna never lets us down. He will never. How many of us went hungry in the temple? Never, never a case. The fridge is always full of prasad. So maybe you may not get all the opulence if you don't stand in the first line, but you always get prasad. There's no scarcity for that. So we should be always looking for seva bhav, of all the pleasures. Even listening to highest, rasika bhakti stories or anything you call it, it is highest pleasure. It is said in the Shastras that the pleasure of service is the highest. So we have to be always willing to, the classic example is, all of you know that Daruka, the charioteer of Krishna. He was one time fanning Krishna and he was overwhelmed with ecstasy. He was getting shivering, hallucinations, hair standing on end. He's praying, Krishna, take this away from me. I just want to fan you. It's not about my own pleasure, It's about how I'm going to give pleasure to Krishna and devotees. So yeah, this pastime of Ambarish Maharaj is, and you can see that the lineage in which Ambarish Maharaj is coming is also very great. Ambarish Maharaj's father's name was Nabaga. Nabaga's father was Nabaga. It's the same name but stressed in different way. I'm not getting it right. Nabaga. So just to recollect the story, it was there in the previous chapter. I don't know if you are here. Probably I was not there myself. So I just read a story about Nabaga and Nabaga. The grandfather of Ambarish Maharaj, what he did was he divided his property to different sons and he distributed everything properly. But the brothers decided to cheat the father of Ambarish Maharaj, Nabaga. They said that for you the share what you get is our father. You look after the father, we will take the property. So they divided, they took all the property among themselves. But as you could see, Ambarish Maharaj is like that because his father is also a very sincere devotee. He did not fight back and he told his father that I will take care of you. I got you as my share. He said, no, you're being cheated. Nabaga says that, my son, you're being cheated by your brothers. So what you do is, there is a yagya happening somewhere being done by the demigods. So you go there and they're doing the yagya in a wrong way. On the 6th day they're saying a mantra in a wrong way. You go correct it, and then what happens is after the yagya they will give you a share. After the yagya you will get a lot of riches, so you will get your share and which is going to be wealthy. Okay, he goes, helps this priest. 6th day they were again saying the syllable wrong and he corrects it. And now he's ready to collect all the wealth. And then from the north, who came?
Brothers.
No, brothers didn't come. Shiva comes. Lord Shiva comes and says, this doesn't belong to you, this belongs to me. Even then, you can see Nabaga did not fight back. He was like, okay, fine, I'll go check with my father. My father told me to do this. He's being very humble and submissive, He's like, okay, I'll go check with your father. He went to his father and asked, there is this black, dark person who came, who stopped the yajna, stopped me from taking the riches. So, what should I do? Oh, my dear son, it's none other than Lord Shiva. Go tell him it's all his share. Let him take whatever he wants. He's the yajna purusha also. So, let him take from the yajna whatever is obtained. He goes back again, tells Lord Shiva that please take what you want. Oh no, I'm just trying to test you. Just because you're getting the wealth, just because you're ready to give all your wealth to me, what I will give you is Divya Gyan. He gives him transcendental knowledge. He teaches him the Divya Gyan. Again, the story, you can see when we are sacrificing in Krishna consciousness, the return is always big. Let us not be worried. Let us give to Krishna. And Shiva gives him all the wealth, all the knowledge. So the same, the Nabhaga gives birth to Ambarish Maharaj. So you can see the seed, you can see the tree. It's very powerful. Huh? So Srila Prabhupada, that's why I emphasize that devotees should practice Krishna consciousness and train their kids in Krishna consciousness. And when Prabhupada said in one class, I heard, he said, you should be practicing Krishna consciousness in such a way at home, your children should get inspired. They should pick up Krishna consciousness from you. But if we, most of the scenarios, the downfall is we tell the children what to do, but we don't practice. Prabhupada said, I saw my parents practicing Krishna consciousness at home. When Prabhupada was a kid, he was fighting, I want a deity. What was the deity Prabhupada got? Anyone knows? Radha Govinda, when he was a kid, I think he was 5 years old or something. So he was so inspired that his father was always inviting the sadhus home, he was always doing puja at home. Even now you go in India, it's like you can hear the bells ringing every day morning. So the families, they do the... But for us, the greatest advantage is not just the ritual of ringing the bell every day in the morning, but as well as we are backed up by Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Nectar of Devotion. So we are very, very fortunate, it's not just ritualistic practice, what we practice every day. Okay, let me go back to my points, what I made a note. I'm sorry, as I said, I'm not fully prepared. I was contemplating on a story because you can see in the purport there is Shiva, Brahma and Vishnu involved. So I heard a story from Padma Purana. I would like to share that story with you. In the Padma Purana there is one story which explains that there was a devotee who invited saintly persons to his house. This person was looking after the Vaishnavas nicely, cooking for them, and the saintly devotee said, where's your brother? We heard you have a brother at home. Where's your brother? He's there, but he doesn't like devotees. He's hiding in his room. He doesn't want to see the devotees. So the saintly persons, as you know, like sun, sun is merciful to, purifies even the impure. Sun is merciful to, everyone, anyone, Sun is shining on everyone's head. So, saintly persons entered, forced open themselves, gone into this room of his brother who didn't want to see the devotees. And they were like begging him, pleading him, say Hare Krishna mantra one time. He said, no, I'm not going to say the mantra you're telling me. What mantra you're not going to say? The mantra you said, I'm not going to say the mantra. He was even being, which mantra? The sadhus were trying to, somehow make him say, trick him to say the mantra. But he was definitely, but the brother took hold, and twisted the younger brother's arm and tell him, you have to say the mantra. Somehow or the other, they made him say the mantra, and the brother died after a while.
Died?
Yeah, after not immediately, but after 20 years or 200 years or something. And the brother died, And then he went to Yamaraj because his life was full of sinful activities. It was full, he was competing Jagai Madai. He did all sorts of drinking alcohol, eating meat, eating cow, all sorts of sinful activities. So Yamaraj has a predicament now. He said Hare Krishna mantra one time. He did so much sinful activities. What should I do now? Should I punish him for the sins? Should I reward him for saying Hare Krishna mantra one time? Okay, best I will ask Narad Muni. Narad Muni, please come and help. Narad Muni arrives on the scene. So, what do we do now? This papi is here, this sinner is here, but I cannot punish him because he said Hare Krishna mantra one time. Okay, fine, let's go to Brahma. He's the creator, he knows everything, so he knows the rules more than us, so let's go to him. Both of them took the papi, went to, the sinner went to Brahma. And now Brahma, he is the same. Oh my God, the Lord gave me permission to do all the, calculation of construction, of giving jivas this bodies and that bodies, but I don't know what if he does so much papa and he says Hare Krishna mantra. Okay, I don't know either. Let's go to Lord Shiva. Now, this sinner is also being smart. He said, I will go only if you all carry me. He's the boss now. They all became his servants, They all carried him to Lord Shiva like a king, Lord Shiva, Lord Shiva was about to pay his obeisances. Brahma is saying, come on, what are you doing? You're paying obeisances, he's a sinner. We're trying to give him punishment, don't pay obeisances. And Lord Shiva was like, okay, fine, tell me what is the problem then. He said, okay, he said Hare Krishna mantra one time, lots of sins, what should we do now? See, I have a trident. Tell me to kill this guy, I'll poke my trident, I will kill him. Don't ask me for calculations, Dharma. No, not my thing. Okay, he said Krishna's name, let's go to Krishna's planet. They all carried this guy as if he's a, king to Goloka. And then now they're asking, oh Lord, please tell us, we have a difficulty here. Okay, Lord heard all the stories, why he's there. And the Lord's reply is, Lord chastises Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Narada, everyone. You guys, what are you doing? You're not practicing, you're not listening to Shastra, Once someone enters my abode, that's it, he never goes back. What is that shloka in the Bhagavad Gita? Yadgatva nivartante taddama paramam mama. 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. I don't know the first line, I cannot get it. So he says, once someone comes to my planet, he never goes back. That's it. Now he is here. That's it. So that's the power of devotees association. It's somehow ena kena prakarena. Let devotees help others. It's quite inspiring to see when we all work together, when we all kind of try to help others also, not just we were in this music festival recently. We went to Prantham de Borj. It's quite inspiring to see our devotees there, so enthusiastic. All the stalls were closed. We were distributing prasadam. We had a lot of leftovers. So, all other stalls, they were closed. They were going. Even if you pay them $1 million, probably they won't stop. Everyone is tired after 1 week of cooking, cleaning, But our devotees, they were so enthusiastic, packing prasadam, fry more koftas, we're still cooking, everyone is going left already, party. But our devotees, this is amazing to see. There is a shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam, from the story of Prachetas, that when we all cooperate, work together, the Lord is very pleased and He gives benediction. So I'll try to get this shloka, I can recite it. Just give me a second. It's very famous shloka. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Varam Vrindavanam Bhadram Vo Yuyum Me Nrupanandanaha Sohrada Pratag Dharmyas Tustoham Sohradena Va. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear sons of the King, I am very much pleased by the friendly relationships among you. All of you are engaged in one occupation, which is one occupation, what they were all doing. devotional service. I am so pleased with your mutual friendship that I wish you all good fortune. Now you may ask a benediction of me. So if you want to please the Supreme Lord, what we have to do?
Devotional service to his devotee.
No, yeah, it says then you have to have friendship, you have to have cooperation. There is that famous sloka, austerity. Cannot get this sloka. Sorry, I'm not prepared. I should have been prepared a bit more. Okay. Any questions? So we can finish here. I think I filled up the time. Any questions? Yes, Bruno Prabhu.
It's not a question, it's just to tell how I relate with the pastime that we read. It's almost finished.
Yes, yes.
So we can see that Durvasa Muni is surrounded by a lot of people. He's doing a lot of things. He going here and there and going to the space. Lot of disturbance. And we can see that Ambarish Maharaj never moved, never tell nothing. He's always saying, oh, I'm just the servant of the servant. So for me, I can say that if I can progress this kind of vibration, not be so disturbed by what's happened around, who to chastise or not, who to tell something. So it's like very inspiring to be a devotee when we see Ambarish Maharaj. Also, he's a king. He's look like very quiet, and that's what I feel when I hear all this pastime.
Yeah.
It look like good to be a devotee.
Even they are a king or yeah, it's a very nice point. Yeah, I mean, when we get into arguments or fights, we look back and we see what did we do, It's like
so much turmoil.
But at least we should pray to the deities and Prabhupada and Vaishnavas that please give us that I should not do the same mistake again at least. We always kind of like, get angry or it's like, again, it's a training process, right? Amrish Maharaj is a king, being a manager, sometimes I'm the boss, No, you can see Amrish Maharaj is such a good example that he's not quoting that I'm a king, you have to listen to me, or else I'm going to curse you or I'm going to do this to you or do that to you. It's Vaishnava means Vaishnava, it doesn't matter what is your position or what is who you are. It's a very nice point. Yeah, it's work in progress. We are here, we are going go there. One day, as you said yourself, one time we had difficulty with devotee. Now you look at him, we don't get angry anymore. So, work in progress. Yeah. Yes, Prabhu, Srinivas Prabhu.
Thank you for your explanations. There is one point which is very interesting. Srila Prabhupada is mentioning, I think, twice in the purport. And he starts with that also. He says that it's even the most intelligent person in this universe, he is bewildered as to understand the activities of Vaishnava. So, how we can make sure that we understand properly, what is a Vaishnava? Is it sufficient just to read the scriptures? Because you said one point which I think it's very nice. You were saying that we hear and we read the scriptures, but then in the practice, I forgot your word, but in the practice we not always show that we are practicing what we read. We teach, you said when the parents sometimes they teach their children, but they don't know what they teach.
Yeah.
So then how we can make sure that we are not just in the theoretical understanding, how we can realize who is a Vaishnava. But Thakur is saying like this.
Yeah.
He's praying to the Lord.
Yeah.
I don't know who is your Vaishnava, please guide me, please let me know. I don't know, when will I recognize a Vaishnava? There is a song, I forgot the title. So, I don't know, this for me it's nice to try to pray how we do that.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, say you are in a Sangha of New Mayapur, just for the sake of it, we always try to aspire, it's like being a honeybee, Everyone is a Vaishnava, according to Lord Chaitanya's explanation, that Kulinagram devotees go and ask him who is a Vaishnava. One who chants one time Krishna's name is a Vaishnava, the second, the third, he goes on to explain the one who constantly chants, and the third one is the one who is, by looking at him, people chant. So, being in New Mayapur, you always associate with the ones who are advanced, Krishna conscious, according to their surrender to Prabhupada. And then, like I see Bruno, I have something to learn from Bruno. He's a Vaishnava. I have something to learn from Christopher. I have something to learn from... Everyone can be... That's why, this Srimad Bhagavatam, that pastime of Avanti Brahmana, or the other one, the one more Brahmana who was learning from a python, learning from a prostitute. It's like we have every opportunity to learn from every Vaishnava. And then Sutapa Prabhu gives this explanation that you have to have one living Bhagavat. Like you have Srimad Bhagavatam, you read, but you have to have one person in your life who is a Bhagavat. You see them day in, day out, you see them just the way scripture is, that's how they live their life. And then you get inspiration. You have to kind of go and serve them. I had the good fortune of being with Janananda Maharaj for 6 years. It's like sometimes I go to bed in the same room with him. It's always Krishna consciousness. Even Maharaj is going back to bed, it's like Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya. It's like, for me at least, I am not asking you to follow Janananda Maharaj, but the reality is there is Vaishnavas like that everywhere. Of course, when we become... I know sometimes we say, oh, Prabhupada is the only Acharya, there is no one in ISKCON like that, or there is some theories like that. But the reality is, if you want to relate to Prabhupada, you have to relate to the Prabhupada's successors who are taken the mission of Srila Prabhupada. So, it's when we are associating with this Sangha properly, okay, Krishna will give us better Sangha. When we have reached, when we have achieved perfection here, okay, next step. I was in Gold Coast myself, I never desired of living in a temple, like I know I wanted to do some training. But okay, Gold Coast chapter is finished, now you go somewhere else that you can get full-time Bhagavatam every day. So this is our desire, this is how we relate with Vaishnavas. Maybe anyone else want to add anything to it? Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, I was having always a kind of confusion regarding the Brahmana, like the Vasamuni, was supposed to be in a higher level who teach spirituality and devotion. But in other context, I find out that there's another called Vaishnavas are more near to Supreme Personality.
Yes, yes.
So how we relate these two things like Nana Brahmana and here we have advanced Vaishnavas.
Yeah, Brahmana doesn't mean a Vaishnava, right? See, Vaishnava has all the qualities of a Brahmana, but Brahmana doesn't mean that he's a Vaishnava. There are Brahmanas who are Smarta Brahmanas, there is different, there is a different practice, they could be even relating to Lord Shiva. Brahmanas doesn't have to be, completely surrendered Vaishnavas.
Here's the point, so how do you classify the topmost, like Brahmanas are considered to be the high generation?
No, Brahmanas are not considered highest than Vaishnavas.
This is the one who teaches.
They give the knowledge.
Yes.
They give the knowledge. But you see, Vaishnava, even Srimad Bhagavatam, who is this demon? He's a Vaishnava. Who is this demon? Vritrasura. He's not a Brahmana. He's not doing Yajan Dan Pratigya, another sloka that Brahmanas are defined. It is not by birth, it's not by your... that's why we have this sloka, Sarvopadi Vinurmukta Tatparat Pera Nirmalam Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchat. You have to give up all your upadi to serve. Like that's why Yagya, this pastime of they were performing, the Brahmanas were performing Yagya to please Vishnu, but Krishna, the friends of Krishna Balaram go and ask, the Gopas go and ask, please Krishna Balaram are hungry, please give us some food. What did they say? No, our yajna is not finished yet. But what did the wives do? Come in the back, we'll give you some prasad to Krishna Balaram. We don't want them to be hungry. So the Brahmanas are higher there, or the ladies, Brahmanas' wives are higher? Who is highest? The goal is up to us, Again, the one who chants the mantra Om enters Brahman. So Brahmanas can enter Brahman. Brahmanas cannot enter Vaikuntha. Simple. A Vaishnava doesn't have to be a Brahman. That's what Srimad Bhagavatam is showing us, at least. Vritrasura example is not a Brahmana. He's not doing.
So in this case, there might be some misleading or advancement if you put out the Brahmana unknowingly.
So if you get misled.
Instead, we go towards Brahmana.
Yes.
Because we are supposed this Brahmana, we have to go towards Brahmana. And here's a Vaishnava.
Yeah.
Oh, we have to go to the Brahmana.
Yeah. No, that's why a guru, there is a shloka from Padma Purana. Sorry, I cannot remember the shloka. I can give it to you. The shloka explains that only a Vaishnava can become a guru, not a Brahmana.
Exactly.
Yeah. Even though he's taken birth in a Brahmana family, if he is not acting like a Vaishnava, he cannot initiate. Even there are theories, I heard that only one who has taken birth in a Brahmana can initiate. That's why they quote that, Haridas Thakur did not initiate. Come on, Narottam Das Thakur was a Kayastha, was not a Brahmana. But he can initiate. He was initiating. So, this famous sloka from the conversation between Mother Devahuti and Kapiladev. Aho patasa pachasodaryam yah jivagre vartate nama tubhyam tapuste puste shishnurarya brahmanachur nama granantiyate. The one who is chanting the name has already has done all the austerities, has done all the yajnas, and then the one who is chanting with faith, I am quoting this, one who is chanting with faith can liberate the whole universe, even though he has taken birth in the family of a Chandala. He is not taken birth of a family of a Brahmana. Right? But the further explanation goes of the same shloka. The one who has taken birth in the family of a Brahmana, who doesn't have faith in the holy names of God, cannot even liberate himself and his family. What to talk about universe? Powerful, huh? This is all written in the Shastra.
So it looks like that the Brahmana is a qualification, like I'm a woodworker.
Yeah, exactly.
But I can be a Vaishnava and a Brahmana also.
But Prabhupada was emphasizing we should all get Brahmanical qualities, cleanliness, these qualities, why not? We all can learn from that, there's no harm in that.
Yes, of course, yes. As I can teach woodworking, but it's not relate with the fact to be a Vaishnava, to be in pure consciousness. Because it's open to everyone.
Exactly.
Everyone can be the highest.
Yeah.
That's good. It sounds very harmonious.
Sounds like we are in the safe place.
Yeah.
It's not. When I was a kid, I always repeat this story. There was a lady, my neighbor. She's from Brahmana. They're right next door. Our neighbors. They're Brahmanas. I think they're Smarta Brahmanas. They're Shaivites. This lady, I asked her, can I go back to God? She said, no, you cannot go back to God because you're taken birth in a low family. You have to take birth in our family to go back to God. Where is this written in the Shastra? It's not. She said, you have to take birth in our family that you get qualified. No. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu defined all of it.
I remember I discussed this topic with my friend Uddhava in Dijon, and he met some Muslims who say the same. And Uddhava said to them, even my neighbor is more compassionate than Allah. So, because if Allah don't accept me just because I don't pray like you, it's not a notion of compassion, sorry. So it was like shaky with this.
Yeah, we get stuck with rituals. We're forgetting the essence. One of my friend is a Smarta Brahmana. When I was there in India recently, his mother passed away. I went to his house before even he went. I could see, my God, they're the descendants of Madhvacharya. Unlimited rules. It's like they're all sitting there, the dead body is there, no one is even doing kirtan, no one is even thinking about God. One is saying, you have to bring certain wood. One says, anyone can lit the fire of this wood. I don't even know why they have to lit the fire of this wood. Not the original pear, not the original thing, but some wood has to be burnt because to keep the flies and things away, I guess, But they are fighting among, arguing at least for the sake. Some says the sun should come and lit the fire. Some say no, anyone can lit the fire. It's like you forgot the essence. You should be sitting here reading Ramayana or Mahabharata or Bhagavad Gita. You should be chanting Krishna's name. So yeah, that's unfortunate that you become Brahmana, but you forget what is the goal.
Yes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Yes, Prabhu, you have a question.
Thank you for the class, Prabhu. About this cooperation and friendship. It is sometimes difficult. I mean, before I came to devotees, I was trying to be as open as possible to say what I mean, even if it hurts somebody, but to be honest and say directly. But then I learned, when I met devotees, I learned about etiquette and how you don't say something which will disturb someone. So this is like, I don't have the proper understanding of this, because I don't say directly because it's not the etiquette, but lots of things then is left unspoken, and I don't know how to communicate correctly, to speak about some problem in the communication, but without hurting someone.
You see, the fact is, when we have to say something which is going to hurt others, we kind of get emotional about it. We say it in a way that, the sloka which says in the 17th chapter, Anudvega, austerity of speech is Anudvega karam vakyam satyam priyam hitam. The speech should be truthful, satyam, priyam. Anudvega means it should not be aggressive. Satyam means truthful. Satyam, priyam means it should be, exchanged in a loving way. Satyam, priyam, hitam. It should be good for the opposite person. So when you say it in a way which is not going to, the point has to be made. You cannot just because if I tell, there is a story, there was a king, he didn't want to hear any bad news. And there was a other kingdom going to attack the king. The minister is in confusion, But what he did, he showed him a pastime that, he sent the horse to the king, and the king went to the backside of the horse, and the horse gives a bad kick to the king, And the king is like, is in full pain. He goes to the minister, he says, hey, why you did not tell me that this horse kicks? He said, the king, you had a rule in the kingdom that no one should give you the bad news. Right? Is that helpful? No, it's only going to cause more trouble. But the art is, the point I'm trying to make is, we need to learn the art. I myself, I'm trying to learn the art of saying the point in a sweet way. The fact, the truth remains the same. But you put it in such a way that the opposite person, but you have to be, I think Kadambakanan Maharaj said that in Radhadesh one time we were there. You should be a friend. If it is a bitter thing, what you're going to tell him, you should be a well-wisher. Chanakya Pandit also says that. What you're going to say, and you have to say it in private. Don't do it in public. 3 things.
You have to be a friend, well-wisher, and in private.
In private, yeah. Then we have to get our facts right also. Sometimes it's easy. You see an apple missing in your fridge, we kind of, I know who this apple stealer is, We jump conclusions. So we should be very certain of what you're going to correct the person with. At least the information you're going to provide him with. Right? You should be certain, and then you speak to him. But opposite person, when he feels you're trying to help him, he won't be feeling aggressed. But if you go in an aggressive, I know you won't. Nitai Charan Prabhu will not aggress anyone. But the opposite person should be feeling that, it's for my benefit.
What was, Prabhu, thank you so much. And what was the shloka that you were quoting before?
Anudvegakaram vakyam sat. This is from 17th chapter, austerity of speech. You know, Krishna talks about austerity of mind, austerity of speech. The 17th chapter, it's somewhere at the end. I can give you the shloka.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Please forgive me for the phone.
No problem, it's okay. It's Prabhupada reminding me.